The Supreme Court is weighing the interaction between government and social media in a landmark free speech case. The case stems from the Biden administration's early efforts to push platforms to take down content it deemed misinformation about COVID and the 2020 election.
Justice Jackson?
So my biggest concern is that your view has the First Amendment hamstringing the government in significant ways in the most important time periods. What would you have the government do? I've heard you say a couple times that the government can post its own speech, but in my hypothetical, kids, this is not safe, don't do it, is not going to get it done. And so I guess some might say that the government actually has a duty to take steps to protect the citizens of this country.
Well, first of all, that clip by Ketanji Brown Jackson, that was kind of terrifying because the entire purpose of the First Amendment is to restrain the government. It's not to restrain the public from getting in the way of government action. It's the opposite. If it restrains the government, that's a good thing. That's sort of the idea behind the statute. In this instance, the reason this suit is being filed is because the plaintiffs in this case, in particular, Dr. Jay Bhattacharya and Martin Kulldorff and Dr. Aaron Hariati, they had their speech suppressed because they were contradicting a false government official opinion. And this is the entire purpose of the First Amendment, is to prevent the government from creating a hegemonic opinion that cannot be challenged. That is why we have a free press. And that was the essence of this case, and the government was allowed to argue the opposite.
Conservative Justice Samuel Alito, on the other hand, had this to say.
I cannot imagine federal officials taking that approach to the print media, our representatives over there. If you did that to them, what do you think the reaction would be? And so I thought, the only reason why this is taking place is because the federal government has got Section 230 and antitrust in its pocket.
Let's listen to what Justice Alito said, and then I'll ask you about it.
When they're unhappy, they curse them out. There are regular meetings. There is constant pestering of Facebook and some of the other platforms. So it's treating Facebook and these other platforms like they're subordinates. Would you do that to the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal or the Associated Press or any other big newspaper or wire service?
As someone who's covered a White House, the answer to that, Mr. Justice, is yes. They would do that, and they would do it often.